Yes, it is true. We ran a print business that started in 2010 and it was called Print Monkey and it operated from a unit in Whitchurch. So our unit was actually opposite Signmaster, and that's how we came to order all our machinery and ink material from Signmaster, and how we came to have a great relationship with the then owners Phil and Rachel George, and that is then what led to us buying Signmaster in 2017. So we started in 2010 and we set up with a Mamaki JV5 and a Mamaki CJV 30-130. We also had the Mamaki plotter at 1.6, which went with the JV5 because that was 1.6. And then we had a laminator, but I can't remember the brand of laminator. It wasn't a Vivid and it wasn't the Windland that we sell. And then a few years later we added the rollover classic as we went into more signage. So we called ourselves exhibition and display print specialists, which I think was just a fancy way of saying that we did a bit of everything, if I'm honest. So we did a lot of roller banners, PVC banners, pop-up displays. We ended up doing quite a bit of signage, but we also did lots of different things. So we did quite a bit of canvases, we sold them through our website, and we did quite a bit of clothing for all sorts of different things. Not so much for sort of teams, it was more a bit of garments being added to a company who were having a load of signs or PVC banners and things like that. So yeah, a really nice range which worked well across the course of the year, because you'd have elements that were more popular at different times during the year, so it kept us nicely busy across the year. So one of the proudest moments running Print Monkey was when we became an approved supplier for the FA, the Football Association. I'm quite a big football fan, and so I really enjoyed that. And we did quite a lot of clothing for them, mostly never anything really that was for the men's or women's teams, but it was for lots of football camps that they ran, and they ran football camps all over the world. But one thing that we did do that made it to the men's team was that we printed a massive canvas which was filled with school good luck messages for when they went to the World Cup in Brazil. And I always laugh because, for those who remember, they lost their 3 games and they were knocked out of the group stages, and so it didn't do much good. But I do still have the picture of it was Glenn Johnson and Phil Jagielka both holding the canvas, which I thought was quite cool. It was the flatbed applicator, the rollover. We added it a number of years after the printers, and it was something that we toyed with. We went back and forth for months over adding it, because it was a piece of equipment that technically didn't make you money, but all of us just loved it when it came, because gosh, it made everything so much easier. We did quite a bit of signage, quite a bit of print onto self-adhesive vinyl, which we were then mounting onto all sorts of different bits of board material, and it just made it a pleasure doing those jobs. You know, we didn't waste as much material. It was much quicker doing it. We didn't need multiple staff to complete that application side of it, and so yeah, it didn't make us money, but it saved us time and it saved us wastage, so it definitely made us more profitable. If I was to go back and start again, I'd have started smaller. We went quite big with initial investment, and it put us under pressure. So I think I would start small. Quite a few of our customers, have smaller outfits, and then they grow and they add kit as their business progresses, and I admire that. And then the other thing would be to track your wastage. We always allocated a percentage of the cost of a job to waste. But over, I think it was 4 to 6 months, we got all the team to calculate all the waste through the business. We realised that we just weren't contributing enough of the cost to waste, and so we re-evaluated our pricing, and then as a result became more profitable. Because you just waste more, each time you put media in the machine, you have that bit at the front and then the bit at the back, and the mistakes you make when you're laminating, all these different things, they add up. So yeah, start small and keep an eye on that waste. I think it has, yeah. Our motto is run by printers for printers, and I do, wholeheartedly believe that the experiences that we've had, the pressures that we know that you guys are going through, have helped mould and make subtle changes at Signmaster. We understand that it can be a bit hand to mouth with products like ink and material. Our finance manager only asked me about a month ago. No, it was after Christmas. He said, "Did you ever sort of have a shelf of ink ready to go into a machine when a cartridge ran out?" And no, we didn't, because he constantly finds it sort of fascinating that most of our customers don't, and often a machine says it's running out of ink and then they order, and I can completely relate to that. So yes, I do believe it does. I think it has helped. We've done quite a lot of work with the team here in understanding the machinery. They go through a Run by Printers course that we've developed, because I think the more they understand about running a print business, the more they'll be able to help you. And I do think that we've done great strides with that. The creativity of our customers, and where you find print. Ultimately, customers come to us often with a problem that they need a printing solution, and it's weird and wonderful. It's brilliant. Our installation team enjoy it as well, because each printer installation is often going to a place where they're printing something different or something new. And I've been in print a long time now, and yet I'm still being surprised with a new application that I haven't seen before, which is great. And it keeps it really interesting for all of us. It has to be COVID. Gosh, that was real. That was just a mad period, a mad time for all of us on so many different levels. We just moved into this unit at the end of November 2019, a unit that we own, and we rented the other building Signmaster was in. And by the March, it was just me in here on my own. And I'll never forget walking around. I didn't even have any of the lights on, really. And I was here because our warehouse manager showed me how to pick and pack orders. And so I was doing that, and we had a number of staff sadly furloughed, and then a number of staff working from home, and it was just so strange. And walking around this building that we poured a lot of money into, and it was completely empty, was quite terrifying. But I believed that we needed to continue to be open. I felt that print would have its place with COVID. I didn't know in what capacity at that time, and obviously the messaging, you know, what print did was so critical. You know, the signs on the floor, you know, the signs on the doors, wash your hand, all these different things, wear your mask. Print, you know, did really well from that point of view, and so the building was empty at the end of March, but it was filled back, you know, with social distancing, you know, beginning of May, because we just became so busy, which was obviously great. But it made us reflect on a lot of things that we did. Processes were changed and adjusted as a result of that time, and yeah, it was the biggest challenge since having Signmaster, but it will be looked back at as quite a defining moment for us at Signmaster, because we picked up a lot of new customers because we were open, and we changed a lot of things as a result of it, and we came out of it better. And I say that wholeheartedly because I know that for a lot of people, COVID was just, you know, one of the most difficult moments in their lives. And you know, so I don't say it lightly, but for Signmaster, it was a defining point as well. At times, yes, especially when sales are slow. And subtle things. My sister lives in London. When I go and visit, and you're on the underground, as you're going down the escalators, there used to all be paper sort of adverts in those A4 frames. They're now all electronic. You know, you go into your local Costa, the menu behind the till is now electronic rather than paper. So you can think, gosh, print is starting to sort of be weaned out, if you like, but then you see print in new areas. So in the supermarket, since COVID, they've recognised the value of floor advertising, and so my son's got a cow's milk allergy. We buy alcohol milk, and you know, when you stood in front of that range on the floor, there's graphics associated with that. So some areas you lose print, and in other areas you gain print, and so it constantly evolves. And you know, the manufacturers are very aware of that as well. They're always bringing out new equipment to keep print relevant. So ultimately, print will evolve, but we can all go on that journey with it. So that's the end of the Q&A with myself. I hope you found that interesting. If there's any other questions that you'd love to know the answers to, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. Maybe I'll do a part 2 if there's enough of a desire for it. Many thanks.